Welcome to episode 70 of Pineapples and Thorns. I am Kat, and Fado is with me. Welcome, Fado.
Ho, ho, ho.
Oh, oh, oh.
Merry,
It's so
Merry
cold.
Clashmas.
Merry Clashmas. It's almost upon us. It's cold enough to be Clashmas.
Speak for yourself, Canadian. It's a balmy 32 Fahrenheit here. So
Let's see.
0 for you.
Minus 17 here, or Celsius. I don't know. What is
I'm
that?
estimating right around 0 Fahrenheit, I think.
Yeah, it's cold. That's all I know. Cold and windy.
There were shrinkage.
It's a good day to stay inside and record a podcast. Let's put it that way. All right, I'm going to jump right into CFF news because we've got a lot of ground to cover today. We haven't had a chance to talk about the CFF draft war that took place a few weeks ago. And there was 4 teams that competed and it ran over a week. It was a lot of fun. It's probably one of the most popular events in the CFF. 4th place was, and I'm going to butcher these names, Akio Brewski. 3rd
I
place,
think he might be like a combination Italian and Polish guy. Accio Brewski, maybe?
Is it Accio? Okay.
Accio?
Accio.
Accio Brewski.
3rd place, Bad Magic. 2nd place, Dumbledam. 1st place, Snitches Get Stitches. That was Team Sky. And it was a lot of fun. We also did the Town Hall 9 event, Night of the Living Nines. That took place on November 9th. That was Team Cat versus Team C-Note, and Team Cat ended up winning. Yay!
Woo!
Big shout out to C-Note for agreeing to be my nemesis. And a huge thank you to Trample Damage for providing the gold passes for the prizes. It was a lot of fun. It's always fun to revisit Town Hall 9 because it makes me feel like I know what I'm doing in this game. And the blood and yeah, you're laughing at me. I know that.
No, I'm not, because I do have a 9 that's max, and I miss events and blah. I'm a terrible leader, but
You are.
yes. So confirmation. The last time I played Town Hall 9 was not terribly. I did a couple of events this year, and I was like, holy cow! I don't even know what to do. Is spam this here? What? And then go 1 for 2.
2 stars win wars. And then we've also got Blood and Legends Tournament hosted by Inc. Players are going to compete for the title of Blood Legend Champion. And the prize, the player who signed up and has the lowest ranking, as per our tracker, will have to purchase the top ranking participant a gold pass. So
this brings to mind the tagline of the great old movie War Games. When you're a player like me, the only winning move is not to play. But no, this is such a cool idea. This is such a cool idea.
It is. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We've had a ton of people sign up already, and gosh, it starts tomorrow, I guess, because today's the last day of Legends. So if you've not signed up and you're hearing this on Monday, you're probably too late to sign up for it. But you can check with Inc. You might still be able to squeak in, check it out. And Clash Worlds happened this weekend. It's over now. Did you watch any of it, Fatal?
So my plan was always to be to kind of watch it on tape delay. I am aware who won, but it's being a holiday weekend and having some commitments, and it starting at 3 Eastern, I think. It wasn't in the cards. But I do plan on watching it because that is the birthplace of very good ideas, right? And sometimes it's the birthplace of very bad ideas. Oh, I think I could do that.
That just looks so easy. And let's be clear, it was not 3 p.m. Eastern, it was 3 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah. Did I say 3 p.m.?
No, you just said 3 Eastern.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to clarify.
Either way, I'm usually asleep in the 3 o'clock hour. The old man nap or sleeping overnight.
So spoiler alert, if you haven't watched any of it, pause or fast forward this part because I'm going to say congratulations to the entire Clash Champs team for a really hard fought and well-deserved victory.
What's in a name?
That's right. I did actually watch the final match. It was Clash Champs versus Repotted Gaming, and it was really, really close war. Lots of great attacks. Super Bowlers were used, which really surprised, I think, everybody because they'd seen a lot of Lalo and Super Barb attacks, but they hadn't really seen Super Bowlers used. And Clash Champs came in with some Super Bowler attacks and tripled and took home the prize.
Well, I mean, you see that over the course of these Worlds tournaments where they're they're so used to defending certain metas, and then someone springs something they think, or they spring an attack meta that the other team is simply not expecting.
Hmm.
We saw it with Tarilla Tavatan, right? Who on
Yeah.
earth thought to even defend like super archers? Well, here they are all the way at the end using them with great success. So same with Clash Champs, breaking down bases that quickly, determining super bowlers of the way. My hat's off to them. I mean, you can hand them so many armies and they can triple with them. Just they know what to
Yeah.
do. They break
Yeah.
down a base. They're like, well, let me go through my little Rolodex of hit strategies, and it doesn't matter. They will roll it out and do really well. So kudos.
Yeah, and the entire event looked like it went off really well. The only problem that I saw with it was they had a little predictions thing going where viewers could log into this website and make predictions and earn little rewards for both Clash of Clans and Clash Royale.
There was
And
also a problem with that streaker, right?
okay, I missed that. Okay, let's circle back to that in a second. So this on this predictions website, the first day, not a problem. You can make your predictions and then you get your points and get your rewards. But for some reason, the second day predictions didn't open until an hour before they went live. So unless you were goofy like me and woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning for some strange reason and decided to check, then for the North American people, you were out of luck on making your predictions. They fixed it for day 3, but even I noticed Itsu had commented on Twitter, or X as it's called now, that they should just give all the rewards to everybody because a lot of people were unable to make their predictions. Now let's circle back to what you were talking about, Whit.
There was a streaker, wasn't there? Someone who takes off all their clothes and runs through the camera and all
I
that.
completely missed this whole thing. Probably a good
Yeah, I
thing.
think he was a guy from Philadelphia with a Wu-Tang tattoo.
Okay, no comment.
Hi, Mark.
All right. Right. So I had this huge list of things that we were going to talk about, and I think I've rewritten the show notes for this episode at least 3 times in the last week. First, Judo had done an interview with Darian, and there was like some not so subtle hints in there, and we'll talk about that in a while. Then Supercell dropped a less than subtle video. I think it was the other day with Darian and some other Supercell people walking around the headquarters whispering, "It's coming," to each other. And what is coming, you ask? Are you going to ask, Fado?
Builder Hall 11?
No, Town Hall 16. They come right out and set it at the end of the video. And when? In December. So sneak peeks are supposed to start December 4th, and it looks like the update will drop December 11th.
Now, this really makes so much sense to me because even though if you can look back over time and say, okay, it's been 18 months historically,
Mm-hmm.
they have not been shy about how much their team has grown. And it makes sense not to upset the calendar by introducing an update even in like April, May, right? And there's already big tournaments going on. I don't know when the golden ticket there might be a golden ticket one that early. I'm not sure, but with a team that big, you can start doing it more on a regular yearly cadence and knocking it out after a CWL post Worlds. Like it just makes so much sense.
Right. And I know Darian had mentioned that they did want to make Town Hall 15 easier in December. Well, what's going to be making it more easy than to introduce another Town Hall?
Then to dip? Well,
and you could just dip anybody who chooses to
I've
remain at
failed.
15.
I've dipped, failed plenty.
That never happens. So also happening this week, starting this week, Hammer Jam. And really going to talk about Hammer Jam because there is a video out with lots of information in it. But the good thing about Hammer Jam is it's a great time to start a new account, Peter, because it's the only time you can get a clan castle at Town Hall too. And all the main village upgrades are going to be 50% off. So, if you're not max yet at 15, or if you're in the process of upgrading other Town Hall levels, farm your brains out this week because you got 4 times star bonus. Everything's on sale. So it's like, nose to the grindstone time for people.
Yeah, with Hammer Jam though, I mean, does it extend into the upgrade or when the update drops?
I think it goes for 2 weeks. So that would take it right up until the update drops. So I think their expectation is that people would take advantage of this event and really work towards maxing their 15s so that they're ready to go to 16.
My second biggest account, so my main mini is Oh, I want to say about halfway through getting to 15, but I haven't been buying a lot there. But the Hammer
Hmm.
Jam, it's going to make things a lot easier and I do have a lot of builders coming due on it, so I do appreciate them for that.
Yeah, the only thing I want to kind of cry about is that I've been hoarding my SCCWL medals because I really want to buy one of those league skins. And now 16 is coming, so I'm just going to have to buy hammers instead and shelve the idea of the fancy hero skin for a few more months. So,
Yeah, and they've in the same in that same vein, I've been stockpiling some of these deals they've been throwing at us the past couple weeks.
mhm.
I think I've got 5 or 6 hammers of but not hammers, the books of building, 10 books of heroes now.
Holy
So,
smokes.
well, yeah, I mean, think about it. If they introduce new pets plus 5 more levels on the other ones, that's a
Hmm.
lot. And you got to assume the heroes are getting at least 5 levels. So that's 20 there. It's a lot.
Yeah, it makes sense. And I mean, also, they've got, I think the Black Friday deals were really amazing this time, and
Yep.
reasonably priced. So,
Yeah, I bought
if,
all but the big boy. So I'm sure it was what, $70 Canadian for the big
yeah.
one, 50 US. I stayed away from that one. But all the other
That
ones I
one's
got.
like a no-fly zone.
Yeah, I've got enough for now, and
Mhm.
they do keep kind of bleeding these out over the first month or 2, so I didn't need
Yeah.
to go absolutely crazy. I did need to buy a gift for my wife too, so,
Merry
you
Christmas,
know,
yeah.
"Hey,
Um,
here's a 12 pack of paper towels, just"
look, I got this great deal. Um, they're gonna have update deals dropping as well, so
Oh, yeah.
save your
I'll get
save
those
your
for her.
nickels. There you go.
She doesn't have an
Put a
account.
little bow on
I
it.
guess
She'll
it's
be
like when
happy.
Homer Simpson got Marge the bowling ball. Yes.
Alright, and then if you look at the Hammer Jam video, there's a lot of little leaks in there as far as hints as to what's gonna be upgraded. There is, various levels on the collectors and some of the defenses, the Expo, the sweeper. Looks like it's the air sweeper's gonna get a new level or some kind of makeover. Bomb tower, wizard tower, builder huts, the storages, and it's looking like the wall wrecker is getting a makeover. The poor little wall wrecker that nobody uses.
Mhm.
And there was something interesting. If you looked at the video, the builder was standing between two archer towers and they merged together. So, does that signal like a mashup of defenses, do you think?
Who knows? I'm curious to see because that'd be a new thing completely for them.
Yeah. And it's really hard to tell what the color scheme is going to be. From the video, it's pretty psychedelic looking with lots of pinks and golds.
All about that. All about that. Yeah, maybe some funky music, some like trip hop or something. That would be cool.
Something different, right? Because the original leaks that I had seen, the theme appeared to be like black and gold and red, but that doesn't look like anything in the video.
Yeah, speaking of like music, I know some of my jokes, well, most of my jokes never land. So, but they did update the
Mm.
splash screen music, which was interesting, and it got me thinking like how it was so natural the way it was that they could do like the spooky theme for Halloween, how the
Mhm.
music changed a little, and also for Christmas. And now I'm like, well, you introduce new music now, but certainly the snow theme and all that will be coming shortly. So, do they have holiday
Yeah,
music in the can already for that?
yeah, they really seem to be more on top of things. Like you said earlier, is with the bigger team and everything that they're able to do more things and stay more up to date.
Yep. And who knows? Maybe a bigger orchestra for them, a bigger music budget, you know?
Darian's learned to play an instrument. So there's also rumors of new pets, and we've seen a blue Pokemon-like creature scampering around the main village forest on the original scenery.
I saw a purple thing too.
Yes, there's been a few things hiding in the woods there. I'm kind of on the fence as to what I think, but then again, I was not sure about the unicorn and the rest of the pets when they first came out. So it should be interesting. Will that mean that people don't use Diggy and the rest of the Town Hall 15 pets if these new ones come out? It's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, because just thinking of the abilities they might have is interesting, right? Because
Hmm.
they've used their imagination with these pets so far. And
Yeah.
I don't spend a lot of time thinking long and deep on things. So I this definitely falls in that category, but if I were to, like, I just don't know what ability. I'm excited to see what they think they can add. And maybe, excuse me, maybe it really is only 2 new pets. Who knows? Like, it doesn't have to be 4, does it?
No, it doesn't. Now, one thing I'm thinking with that the blue one is that it freezes things, to slow things down, like a frost
We got Frosty
ability.
already.
Yeah, but nobody uses Frosty.
Oh, so a different pet with does the same thing, but just, rebooting it, you know?
Yeah, something like that. It's
They
cuter.
should
Maybe
also
they'll.
get, like, a little white pony that heals things too, Cat. What do you
That's
say?
true. Okay, fine. I'll go back to my
I'm
corner.
teasing. I'm teasing.
Okay, let's move on and talk about Judo's interview because it was interesting and I watched it a couple of times. Some nice insights into the development team, from where it started off in the beginning. Darian mentioned that they've sort of had a renaissance and it's now 40 to 50 people, which is twice the size, at least what it was. They have the depth now to start tackling all the little projects that have been put off for years. So looking forward to seeing what they come
Well,
up with.
are you really looking forward to it in a way? Like, I think the proof was in the pudding with the mashup event, right? Like,
Hmm.
that was a rousing success. Now,
Hmm.
I did not I did not use the troops except for an event, but people were having so much fun. People were into it, and that's only a good thing. That's only a good thing. And so I think it bodes really well that they're able to A, grow the team, B, have everyone coordinate still because, anytime you double your team size, there's a immediate overhead with coordination. I'm thinking back on my work experience now, but ultimately, like, their first endeavor was a big success, and I'm psyched. And if my son even teases me now, he's 13, like, people still play Clash of Clans. I'm like, I don't know, 10, 11 years later or whatever, and look how good it still is. Like, it's still engrossing. You're still excited for new content. I'm excited for it. They're doing real well so far.
Yeah, I agree. And I think I played with the Lavaloon and I tried the Witch Golem or Golem Witch, whatever it was, as well. But the Lavaloon was just an amazing fun troop. And really for those of us who've been playing and slogging through Town Hall 15 and trying to find something that works, just being able to go into the game and use a troop and just obliterate a base felt so good. It was so much fun. And we knew it was a short time frame that you were going to be able to use these things. Didn't matter. Go in, have fun with it. I knew that I would have to go back to my regular armies at the end of it, but in the meantime, it just kind of was like this breath of fresh air that came in and rejuvenated the fun in the game for not just me but a lot of people.
Yeah, you know what it reminded me of?
Hmm.
Town Hall 9. And not just
Yeah.
because, well, this is fun, and Town Hall 9 was loads of fun when
Yes.
Town Hall 9 when 10 was the max and you were, the right troops and there was, I don't know, it was just so much, like, the hit rates were crazy. I mean, that
Hmm.
drove me a little crazy at times, but it is what it is. But seeing, that's just the mood because it went from, it's not like people are making a huge stink about their own hit rates or complaining a lot, but there was a general feel of, yeah, I mean, we all know what to expect on hit rates. And suddenly, we got in Red Thorn, we got perfected multiple
Hmm.
times. I can't remember if we went perfect. Shoot, people were just having fun, right? And at the end of the day, that's what this is about. Like, if I didn't use them because I always needed to come back and not forget how to attack it once CWL started.
Hmm.
But people were just having a ball with them, and that's really all that matters. And I like I said this on a previous podcast. I didn't care. I didn't begrudge people, man. Whatever keeps people in this game, and especially in Red Thorn, you're surrounded by people you really like to play with. I'm all for that.
Yeah. And when it comes down to it, it's a game and it needs to be fun. And they have to find ways to balance fun for the competitive group who like to do like the leagues in that, and fun for the quote unquote average player who's just like, doing random wars and farming away. It's a tough thing to do. So, I'm looking forward to the next event. Hopefully it's as much fun. And most of the in-game interfaces are still 2012 level, Darian says, and they're hoping to make changes to update those over the next 12 to 24 months. So clan chat, has not changed since the game started, other than them getting rid of global.
Oh, they
Bring back
switched
global.
the order, right? It used to be bottom up
Oh,
or
that's
top
right.
down. They flipped it, so
Yeah,
that's an upgrade, right?
I guess so. Yeah, but things like that they're going to work on. So it'd be interesting to see what they do to bring it more up to date. Alliances. Darian talked about introducing the concept of clan alliances in some way, because with the absence of global chat, the game is much less social than it used to be. When you were sitting in the clouds, you used to go hang out in global chat, right? and and just like chat with people. Now you log in, you do your attacks, and you go back out of the game. So there's a lot less socialization in game.
Yeah, it used to be a great place to try out pickup lines. That global chat.
This is true. Or to troll people.
No, or troll them with pickup lines. There you go.
This is the truth.
Combining Cat's two favorite pastimes.
It was also noted that people are missing the progression bar in the user interface. So they're looking at ways to bring that back. Darian admitted that they overlook the value of the progression bars to the player.
Yeah, the new interface, it does drive me nuts because my biggest complaint is not the lack of a progress bar. It's if I go to upgrade a hero, or I go to upgrade something, right? And I want to spend gold on it. And then I go to a confirmation screen and I accidentally hit, like, I don't know, the other means, like the hammer. I'm like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I just lost the hammer I was counting on in a week because
Right.
I'm like, oh man. So if there is a true confirmation, take the methods out that the player did not choose at first. So if I chose gold, I meant gold. See, I have messed that up 2 or 3 times on my main mini now, where I will be like, yep, I want to upgrade this with gold, and bam, I hit the wrong thing. And it's like, oh, and it
Yeah.
happens on walls all the time. I wanted to save this elixir for my lab, which is opening up in 4 hours, but
Right.
I just accidentally used it on a wall that I meant to use this gold on. Oh,
Yeah. That it could be a real hassle with that for sure. I've heard a lot of complaints about that. So I think they're looking at fixing it. Let's see. Another thing that they talked about was the main village size. The real estate is cramped. I've had to like stash numerous decorations so that I have room for others. What can they do to give us space without condensing more trash buildings? Like they've
I
got
have
army camps and collections, but those trash buildings play a crucial role in defense, right? So
They absolutely do, and I think the shovels of obstacles should be a lot more plentiful.
yeah, because you really need. I mean, I like to keep ideally 2 of each decoration in case I accidentally delete one down the road.
Do you know
But
anyone that does like Clash landscaping? Because I need someone to real like, and that's back to the shovel of obstacles thing. Like my bases are a disaster because I'll just move a handful of Christmas tree. I have a little Christmas tree farm, but even then,
mhm.
it's all overgrown, and I just need someone to come in and design it and do it well for me, and
Well, you know what would
without
really be
like
nice?
an
It,
infinite supply of shovels of obstacles.
or just get rid of the shovel of obstacle and just let you move stuff, because as silly as it sounds, sometimes you run across somebody who's taken so much effort into designing a base, and they've got all the little trees and stuff in the center of their base, and it looks so nice. People get really creative with their base design, right?
Mhm.
So why not just get rid of needing shovels to move stuff? Let us just move stuff, That would be really nice. Let's see, we talked about mashup madness. One thing that Darian mentioned was that nerfing the event troop mid-event was wrong. And I agree. You introduce the troop, they go through testing with their content creators ahead of time. So why take and nerf a troop halfway through?
Well, they made it a little too good, maybe, because even
It
after they nerfed it, people were still smashing away, and
It
that's
didn't
fine.
make that much of a difference, yeah. But it just is a bad optic to nerf an event troop. It's only there for a short period of time. It's not there for forever. Just run with it, let it go.
Yeah, if they're gonna make bigger and better events, though, that
Yeah,
just means bigger and better events for us.
this is true. I'm not
And
going to
the
complain
and
about that.
Yep, because like I said, I don't usually I get so many notifications and whatnot, I forget to sign up for events, or usually it's a good friend like Trample who's like, hey, come do this event, come do this event. And he'll stay on me, and I'm like, you know what? You have given up so much to us, and I need to give back to you. So yes, I will do it. And that's, but doing those, with the more events, the better. It's just
Mhm.
mixers. It's a social aspect of the game that we can't get from global, I guess. But yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah, for sure. Darian also talked, well, actually, it was Judo who mentioned using heroes while upgrading. So, why can't you use your queen in a friendly war or in a regular war at the old level while it's upgrading? You're sitting without a hero for a week, assuming that you let it go the entire time without using any potions or anything. So, you're sitting out of wars for a week. And it's, especially you're looking at higher levels of town halls, you've got multiple heroes needing to be upgraded. People are not able to play and enjoy the game the way that you want to, right?
Mm-hmm.
So apparently they're looking at alternatives to make the upgrade process more enjoyable instead of allowing us to use heroes up. So Darian did say upgrading heroes should feel more exciting. There should be some kind of reward at the end of it. So be interesting to
Yeah,
see.
I have a hard time. I love the idea of being able to use your old level heroes while they're upgrading for a war, but
Mm-hmm.
it is such a moneymaker for them. And at the end of the day, it is a business. I really have a hard time seeing how they'll go any route other than we'll do everything we can short of that. And I don't fault them for that. I mean, in my dream, yeah, sure, that would be it, but it is what allows them to have larger development teams and cooler
Mm-hmm.
events.
Yeah. Another thing they talked about was CWL war size. Right now, if you're in champs or higher, you're limited to 15-person wars, and down in the lower masters and lower, it's 30. Darian said that it's not on the table right now because it would affect matchmaking too much. And I totally understand that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But from leadership perspective, it would be really nice to be able to run 30s in champs at
Yeah,
least in
because
maybe champs 3 or something, because it's so hard to split up the clan.
it is, and people get sore.
Right.
People know who the great hitters are in your own clan. There's the blob, right? Everyone else is kind of in this blob of X. You know what I mean? Like there's this blob of
Yes.
people all with similar hit rates, and it's hard to pick the next. What is it? 10, 5,
Hmm.
8, whatever it is in your clan.
Yeah.
To fill out that roster, and feelings will get hurt. Even though we're adults, I get it. Like I get nervous in CWL. It's like, is it going to be me wearing being the absolute joker this month who's just screwing the pooch? Who knows?
It could happen to any of us. So also they talked about, is it even possible to balance Town Hall 15? And I guess that's kind of a moot point right now because they're going to 16. So they don't have to worry about making people happy at Town Hall 15.
Yeah, Lord knows the base builders have a lot of business. So
Sale, base sale right now. Interesting idea from Judo was the ability to use emotes in game, but making them visible only to people watching the attack. So, for example, you're doing a war attack, you can't see any emotes, so there's no distractions. But people watching your attack could be posting emotes like cheering emotes or whatever. And then when you watch the replay, you'd be able to see the emotes they used. I think that'd be fun because I know in Clash Royale, which I do play, it drives me crazy.
drives
You
everyone
know,
crazy that you play that.
the person that you're attacking can spam emotes at you, right? And it makes me crazy. But you also have the ability to turn those off so that you can't see the emotes that they're throwing at you. But it's
Yeah.
just like a little fun thing. And even, I don't know, I don't see how it would hurt. And I think Darian seemed intrigued by the idea, but it's probably not something that's going to be something that they'll look at anytime soon, I don't think. But there
Yeah,
will be.
I'm a little wishy-washy on that, unless they have control over the emotes you can use. Like if someone can
Yeah,
just
like
ban any emoji, like that's just gonna get real real toxic real fast.
I'm shocked that you would say that. There will be no Pepe emotes. I know you want to say something. No. Clan
I,
capital.
yeah, I'm gonna stay quiet.
Clan capital. There will be more districts and new troops, new defenses. But they're also looking at adding a leaderboard and making it more competitive, which I think is good. It's pretty new and people seem to enjoy it. So definitely something that they can build on and add things to it.
Yeah, it's not really moving the needle for me. But I'm open.
Yeah. Well, I'd rather see them invest in clan capital than builder base. Builder base adds nothing to the main village. At least with clan capital, you're getting your medals and what have you at the end of the weekend. So
Yeah, if they're disappointed in the usage of Builder Hall, then they should also find a way to tie medals into that as well. Maybe you
yeah,
get a handful of medals for completing your daily stars or something.
exactly. They are looking at things that have become formulaic, trying to breathe new life into things. So apparently the devs want to bring in a more consistent way of bringing new content to the game. Hence, Town Hall 16 dropping sooner. Yeah, I think things are definitely moving in a positive direction. What do you think?
It depends what they view as formulaic, right? Because we as human beings love consistency. And if there were a consistent release schedule, and that would be great. Like, we're already familiar with certain aspects of this, right? We know
Hmm.
when worlds will be in the latter portion of the year. There's always certain springtime or fall things going on, whether it's the
Yeah.
Halloween base and things like that. So consistency is good. I'm curious I might be misreading how they want to use formulaic and bringing content into the game, but I'm a big proponent of having all of our expectations aligned and communicated. And that,
Hmm.
again, it comes back from how I have to live my life at work. Regularity and consistency is a great thing. So I don't need them to, if they can add to that, or even if that's more of a communication thing, I don't know. I'm curious to see what their thinking is on that.
Yeah, I agree. So now we're going to jump into our top 5 wish list for the December update. You want to do your top 5?
All right, you want me to do all five, or you
No,
want to
no,
go
let's
back
go.
and
You
forth?
do your 5 and then I'll do my 5 and 4 and 3. Same.
Yeah, okay. I had a little help on a couple of these from a little birdie in Canada who I'm talking to. But anyway, we both agreed that there would be a really cool addition to the game to donate excess resources. So one of the ways I can see this happening is, anyone who's been maxed on a base and is in Legends knows that your clan castles are just sitting on maxed resources, right?
Mhm.
Like, is there any way that those could be somehow traded to clanmates or even friends in your friend list?
Yeah, or maybe even create like a clan community chest that you could make withdrawals out of. I don't know. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and even if it's
Uh,
like, okay, yeah, I want to withdraw, 1,000,000 gold and here's 5 gems for it or something. I
right.
don't know. I don't know how they
Yeah,
do that.
that's an interesting idea. My number 5 is very practical from my side of things. The ability to edit clan mails. Please, please, please. I can't tell you
Yeah,
how many times I've sent a clan mail, hit send, and I go back and look at it. It's full of spelling errors because I was half asleep and typing.
yeah, we've been meaning to have a word with you about that, but we can do that offline.
Thank you. What's your number 4?
But that does go back to the 2012 interface, does it not?
It does.
Number 4 is the ability to, and again, this is something I bet a lot of people are thinking or wanting, but the ability to load up a Legends hit and basically have access to multiple armies, even
Mhm.
or switching troops like it's Builder Hall. So, my thinking was maybe you have either your entire quick train armies are available, which would be super nice, but it probably gets into problems with unlocking super troops. But I just think there's always a variety of bases you find in Legends, but in another aspect, I can see how that becomes a good way to learn. Boy, this army really isn't succeeding a lot against this base type. It is a way of learning, but for those of us who aren't at the top of the Legends leaderboard, it would be kind of cool to be able to change armies on the fly.
Excellent idea. My number 4 is better clan description tools. So again, you type in your clan description for your clan. You can't edit it. You have to go back and you can't make it look nice, like line things up. It's just like one continuous long sentence. Yeah, they need to fix that. What is your number 3?
All right, my number 2 and 3 are very closely tied. So number 3 is better tutorials. So I know they introduced when you're unlocking a super troop or looking to upgrade a troop, or even like build an army, and you can hit the info and you see what the
Hmm.
troop does. But it'd be really cool if they took some of the content that, thinking truly from like an English speaking perspective, think of like what a Carbon, a Judo, some of the oh gosh, some of the like Hooked on Clash. Think of people like that. If you didn't have to leave the game to go watch a YouTube video or something, or even store tutorials as like replays in the game. But that's kind of brushing up against my number two, so I'll stop there.
Okay. My number three is better clan recruitment tools. And this is more for, clans that don't have access maybe to all the tools that the CFF clans have. But if you're just a clan, you have one clan and you're out there, you're starting with maybe a few friends, how do you get people to join your clan? It's almost impossible. Even
You
if you
got
leave
to
it, anyone can
you almost
join.
have to you almost have to
You know,
marry into them, don't you?
pretty much. You have to have friends and know people in the community or get your clan out there somehow, which is, again, it's really difficult to do. So I really hope that they address that sometime, if not in December, then in the new year. What is your number two?
This one is closely tied to my better tutorials. So back to the idea of replays being readily available, especially on
Mm-hmm.
the heels of Worlds, and you've got all these major tournaments. Why can't the replays be stored for like in-game access? Feature replays, like featured replays. Oh, here's the hit that clinched, blah blah blah. Or again,
I
so
like
some
that.
could be tutorials, some could be that, and the back end, like these aren't little video files. These are a series of clicks stored with timestamps of when people did what. And the base itself is like an XML file, probably, or JSON. It's just sitting there. Those are just files. So whereas like our war replays, even our, attack and defense replays are stored for a limited amount of time, there should be some featured replays that simply are exempt from timing out. And just put them in like the events window or the social window,
Mhm.
wherever they have those windows. You're like, hey, check out what this awesome hitter did with this army in this tournament, and you just hit the button and watch it as if you were a spectator. Come on, man, let's do that.
That would be really cool. Like if you say, for example, leadership had the ability to pin a certain attack into that window or whatever and
Yeah.
say, so and so did this attack textbook perfect. If you're trying to learn this attack,
Hmm.
watch this. Yeah, that would be great. My number two is some kind of revamp to clan games because it is formulaic and it's boring.
Yeah, and it's even more boring when you got one clanmate who has it all done in like an hour. And it's like, holy mackerel, like, well, I'm not getting first this month. And I don't begrudge this clanmate because I think it's hilarious. We teased him in Discord that he must have an alarm for like 4 a.m. Eastern or whatever it is on the day of clan games. Um,
That's
and
every
there was
month, every
Well,
single
no,
month.
there was 1 month where he either messed up an alarm or forgot, and I
Or
I
did he
beat
sleep
him
in?
to it. I the funniest thing was he was kinda panicky. He was like, "Oh my god, I didn't realize it was today." He's like, "It should be I should be first." But you know what? That just shows like people value different things in the game, and all these other things. Like that might be keeping him in for all we know. Like that's just
Yeah,
really
this is
cool.
true. What's
All
your
right.
number one?
My number one is not brown nosing to our former guests. I really think, like, come on, Clash, you've got to find a way to integrate into the Clash of Clans game interface what competitive Clash Network is doing. So if we're matched with a team, give us some deeper stats. Give us their last 5 wars or something. Give us
Mhm.
a trend line for them. We don't necessarily need from like a pro Clash, like, oh, in their wars they were these were the types of hits they were doing or anything. We don't need anything super advanced, but there's a lot of good numbers that are accessible to guys outside the game. Therefore, these numbers must be accessible inside the game for Supercell. And why not, like on a war matchup screen or something, say, here's how they're trending. Here's their overall hit rate, or things like that. Just
Mhm.
juice it up a little bit.
Right, because that's something that if you have different war bots in your server, that you do have access to some of those stats, but not probably to the depth that maybe some of us would like. Because I do like to see stats,
Hmm.
and I know a lot of people really enjoy looking at that side of the game as well. So yeah, be cool. It would be a cool feature. My number one is just make it so that the average person can reasonably expect to have a chance at a triple if they put a little bit of effort into planning. Not Lavaloon easy, but if I'm sitting there and I'm reading the base and put some thought into the kind of army that I'm going to hit with, and I've practiced with it, I should have a reasonable expectation of being able to triple that base or get a high percentage 2-star. I'm not talking like I said, I don't expect to be able to just walk in and spam stuff and triple. But when we look at the Lavaloon event, let's face it, tripling is fun. And they just need to make some adjustments so that most of us who are not pro level have a bit of a chance. And I know it's hard for like we said earlier, hard for them to balance that, but I am hopeful. Let's jump into some shout outs. Fado, what have you
happily
got?
I want to shout out a handful of people. We'll start with C-Note. C-Note, thank you in advance. You stepped up to edit this podcast, asking absolutely nothing in return that I know of when we're kind of in a position of need. So thank you very much. Our regular editor is having some PC issues. Number 2, I would also like to shout out Vodka Soda, who gave us some of his time for some pro tips on Sarch Super Barb. Thank you very much. That was extraordinarily generous. I want to shout out Magnus, who's going through all sorts of busy life stuff and still doesn't complain. He's just like Stormy, like Peter, like so many others. Just a great reason to keep, quote unquote, showing up to work for Red Thorn.
Awesome. I agree with all those. Let's see. You stole some of my shout outs, but I'm going to repeat them anyways. Yeah, poor Mama Sid's had computer issues, and so C-Note has stepped up. Can't thank him enough for filling that gap. It allows us to put out this show for everybody to hopefully listen to, all 5 of you. And shout out to Mama Sid's because she puts her heart and soul into editing for us every episode. So shout out to her, and a big shout out to Lolly for helping me work on my Super Bowler game. She spent some time in voice with me the other day and tried to walk me through. She's so good at it. And she's just absolutely been crushing it this month in Legends. So it's a final day of Legends League. And she is right at the top of the leaderboard there in the CFF server. So hopefully she stays there and finishes off in first place. We're cheering for her. So
yeah, atta girl.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. The CFF is a family of clans who love to play various games such as Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, among others. You can send questions or comments to us on Twitter at RedThornCOC. To get more information on our clans, events, and podcasts, join the CFF Discord at discord.gg/clashfiles.